Hurry up and wait at the border, where surprise inspections have people waiting in traffic for hours.
And I hear horror stories of the nurses would cry just drive home in tears like, did I do harm?
San Diego nurses speaking up in the nation's capital, their message aimed at saving lives.
They got his arm. They just dragging him in.
Thrilling or terrifying, the elite unit handling one of the most dangerous rescue missions in New York City. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. Leaders at the Justice Department are interviewing replacements today for former FBI Director James Comey. He was fired Tuesday by President Trump. The position is currently being held by Comey's top deputy. The interim chief would serve until Congress confirms a permanent director, which could take some time, given bipartisan angst over Comey's firing. Senate Democrats are demanding a special counsel be named to take over the federal investigation into Russia. Here's California Senator Dianne Feinstein.
As I reflect on the decision to dismiss Director Comey, I become incredulous thinking about the ongoing FBI investigation into Russia's interference with our presidential election and possible connections to associates of the Trump campaign and administration.
Democrats from the San Diego congressional delegation echoed the calls for an independent investigation on Russia. And on Midday Edition today, Representative Scott Peters said the reason for the president gave for firing Comey, his handling of the Hillary Clinton email investigation, is fishy.
I don't believe for one second that Mr. Comey was fired because he was too hard on Hillary Clinton. He was not fired by President Trump because he was too hard on Hillary Clinton. It's just preposterous. The fact is, again, he's trying to point at this as a firing outside the context of an investigation of his own campaign, their ties with Russia, a country that's interfered with our democratic elections. Because we know that this is an effort to make sure we don't get the answers on the ties between Trump's campaign and potentially the president and Russia.
Republican Darrell Issa is not calling for an independent investigation. He released a statement saying he lost confidence in Comey long ago, and new leadership at the FBI would restore confidence in the agency. We'll be following this story as it develops on air and online at kpbs.org. PBS NewsHour will also have updates coming up at 7 o'clock. Crossing the border into the U.S. at the San Ysidro port of entry can take several hours by car. But now routine border crossers say southbound wait times can be just as bad as northbound ones, or even worse. KPBS Fronteras reporter Jean Guerrero has the story.
The lines to get into Mexico at the San Ysidro port of entry are starting to stretch for miles in the afternoons. That's because of random inspections and lane closures by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Routine border crossers say they sometimes have to wait in line for hours, and that delays have been happening almost every day since February. Customs and Border Protection says it won't comment on the frequency or timing of outbound inspections to maintain an element of surprise. The agency says inspections are meant to stop fugitives, child abductions, and illegal weapons smuggling into Mexico. Keith Kleinstiver crosses the border every weekday to work in San Diego. He lives in Tijuana and says customs officials are stopping traffic almost daily, starting at around 3 p.m.
They stand at the end of these concrete dividers with stop sticks.
He says he thinks outbound inspections are a waste of U.S. resources and a waste of his time.
Seems like double duty, because why are we having the U.S. Border Patrol inspect people going into Mexico when Mexico has their own people that do that?
To get into the U.S., he has Global Entry, a trusted traveler permit that lets him cross the border into the U.S. in minutes. So lately, it takes him longer to get into Mexico. Tens of thousands of people cross the border at San Ysidro every day, for work or for school or to go shopping. Jean Guerrero, KPBS News.
Think twice about traveling to Texas. That's the warning from the American Civil Liberties Union. The ACLU says visitors to the Lone Star State may have their constitutional rights violated because of the state's new law banning so-called sanctuary cities. The ACLU officials have pledged to challenge the law in court. White House spokesman Sean Spicer says he hopes more governors follow the state's lead. There's a new video out showing immigration authorities disregarding a mayor's plea by arresting people outside Denver courthouses.
That's not right! That's not okay!
Advocates say this video was captured last week, less than a month after city officials sent a letter to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement asking that agents avoid arrest at courthouses and schools. It was released by immigration attorney Hans Meyer.
You have something happening in full view for all the entrance and exits to that courthouse, and the message is unmistakable. If you're an immigrant community member and you watch that unfold in our courthouse, why would you ever trust coming to our courthouse?
Advocates say the May 5th incident is not isolated. There's a second video showing ICE agents arresting another man outside a courthouse. This one taken a week earlier. ICE officials say he had deportation orders in place since 2012. And as for the man in the violent takedown video, they say he has 2 convictions for driving under the influence. 78 asylum seekers are trying to raise awareness about the challenges faced by people fleeing violence in Latin America. They turned themselves in at the San Ysidro port of entry last weekend as part of a caravan called Via Carcris. Immigration attorney Nicole Ramos is representing 20 of the families. She says U.S. Customs and Border Protection is regularly turning away asylum seekers before they can get credible interviews as required by law.
That's not CBP's job. CBP does not have the authority to make evaluations on what the validity of the asylum claim is. Their only function is to refer to the asylum office for a credible fear interview.
Customs and Border Protection denies the agency sends asylum seekers back without interviews. Authorities have the protesting asylum seekers in custody, where they're awaiting credible fear interviews. About 57% of asylum petitions that reach immigration judges are denied, according to the University of Syracuse's Transactional Record Access Clearinghouse. Today is Mother's Day in Mexico, but it's not a happy one for the families of 43 missing college students. They marched today with supporters in Mexico City, asking for answers. The students disappeared in September of 2014.
Nosotros como madres tenemos ese coraje, esa rabia de que nos hayan desaparecido a nuestros hijos y este día no tenemos nada que festejar. Nos hace falta nuestro hijo como para estar bien.
A government investigation found local police working with the drug cartel intercepted the students and turned them over to gang members who allegedly killed them and burned their bodies. But families have not accepted this explanation. A California appeals court has 90 days to decide the fate of a waiver rate dispute between a Los Angeles-based water wholesaler and San Diego County water managers. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson has details.
The impact of the ruling could involve billions of dollars over time. At issue is the cost of moving water through the Metropolitan Water District's delivery system. San Diego water managers accuse Metropolitan of charging too much to move the water that they bought from the Imperial Irrigation District. A Superior Court judge agreed and awarded San Diego County nearly $250 million. Now, Jeffrey Kneitlinger is MWD's general manager, and he says the lower court got it wrong.
We worked that out in 2003. Eventually, they ended up suing us and seeking a different way in which we calculate our rates. At the lower court, they prevailed, and so now it's on appeal, and we will see what happens.
Kneitlinger says the lower court interpreted the deal as an agreement to move water when it's really a deal to swap ownership of water. MWD took in water from the Imperial County and gave San Diego different water from their system. I spoke with an attorney representing San Diego earlier this week. Dan Purcell said they're making the case that Metropolitan was retaliating for the water purchase by charging higher transportation rates. If the lower court ruling stands, Metropolitan could be forced to give back money it already charged and lower water delivery rates in the future. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
This just in. Deputies shot and killed a driver today after a short pursuit near Verona Casino. Deputies say it happened just before 2 near Wildcat Canyon Road. This is on the grounds of the Verona Indian Reservation. Deputies say the chase started after the suspect refused to pull over, and they say he was driving recklessly. The driver died at the scene. It's not clear what prompted the gunfire. Deputies say the chase ended with a crash. 2 other people inside the car were injured. Their conditions were not released. We'll have more developments on this investigation online at kpbs.org. Law enforcement officials are gearing up for California's impending legalization of recreational marijuana. California Highway Patrol officers gathered at the Capitol today to demonstrate the use of a new drug detection device that will help them determine whether someone is driving under the influence of drugs.
The field sobriety test, the eye movement, and the involuntary bodily indicators, those are a critical part of the evaluation process. But what this tool provides is a confirmation that there is some level of drug in the system, and that helps fortify their suspicion.
Lawmakers are set to vote on a number of measures in the coming months which aim to crack down on drugged driving. One bill would make smoking marijuana while driving an infraction similar to drinking and driving. A study has found mixed results from the $15 million California spent to stop drugs being smuggled into prisons. Researchers from the University of California, Berkeley and the Public Policy Institute of California say the effort led to a 25% reduction in illegal drug use since 2014. But researchers found no reduction in prison violence, which often starts over drugs. Governor Jerry Brown is expected to decide tomorrow if he wants to continue the program. San Diego is going to get a little cloudy tonight. Erin Calandra has the forecast.
Things are pretty pleasant out there today. A bit cool, though, but at least dry for now. Taking a look at our radar and our satellite, we don't really see much of anything going on across the county, and that's how it will remain for tonight. We'll have some low clouds move in overnight. We will see those in the morning as well, which could cause maybe some visibility issues. Keep that in mind. But the overnight low is 60 degrees. And taking a look across the county, Borrego Springs, 58 degrees. Mount Laguna, a bit chillier, 43. Ramona, 49. Oceanside, 56. And Poway, 55 degrees. It's going to be cloudier along the coast. Still some clouds in the mountains, but not quite as thick. Now, we do have a dip in our jet stream. Right here it is, which is bringing cooler temperatures to the deserts. There's also a low pressure system in here, and that is pushing off. There it goes to the east, and that means we are going to have a big change in our weather. For our Thursday, you'll notice it. We're going to have a lot more sunshine. We're going to have much warmer temperatures in the afternoon and very little wind. So things are improving around here. Taking a look at the 5-day forecast, lots of sunshine across the board. Temperatures in the 70s through Friday, and then it just gets a bit chillier. 68 degrees by Sunday with some clouds in the forecast. Inland, it's also, a bit warmer. Nothing out of the ordinary. A couple clouds in the forecast. Temperatures 76 degrees on Friday, 75 on Saturday, and by Sunday for the weekend, 72 degrees. In the mountains, it's a bit chilly. 66 degrees on our Friday, but sunny. On Saturday, our low is in the 30s, and that continues on Sunday night as well. But by Monday, things warm up a bit. A high temperature of 59 degrees. And in the deserts, well, it starts off warm and then it becomes a bit more comfortable as time goes on. So Friday, lots of sunshine, 95 degrees. By Saturday, it cools down to 89 degrees. And by the beginning of our work week, well, we're down to 84 degrees for our high temperature. For KPBS News, I'm Erin Calandra.
San Diego nurses demanding action for their patients in Washington, D.C. They met with lawmakers calling for health care coverage for all. Alex Whitler says it's part of an international movement for nurses.
San Diego nurses are lobbying in the nation's capital to discuss legislation they say is a matter of life and death.
So we hope he takes this seriously.
A sea of nurses in red flooded the Hart Senate office building to make sure their health care message is heard.
So we're going to visit all of our different representatives to demand that they also support Medicare for all.
San Diego nurses say they want lawmakers to consider two main issues. They want other states to follow California's lead by making patient-to-staff ratios more manageable.
How do you chart? You can't even keep your patients straight. It's mind-boggling. And I hear horror stories of the nurses would cry just drive home in tears like, did I do harm?
They're also pushing back against the new GOP health care proposal, or the American Health Care Act.
We're urging the Senate to reject the AHCA.
We think it's immoral for us to be a country as rich as we are with the resources that we have and have people that become homeless and destitute because they can't afford health care.
I feel like it's a human right, not just if you can afford it.
The lobbying is part of International Nurses Week.
There's actually events just like this happening in 21 countries around the world.
And we will go national until it happens. So you're looking at a union that's not going to stop.
The nurses will gather again in California on May 19th to discuss a bill that would require the state to pay all medical expenses for residents. Reporting from Washington, I'm Alex Whitler.
There's new fallout over a controversial audit of the University of California. Some lawmakers want to make interfering with an audit a crime. The auditor's report showed UC administrators hid $175 million from the public in a reserve fund. The head of the UC system apologized last week.
I am sorry that we did it this way, but because it has created the wrong impression and detracted from the important fact that we accept the recommendations in the audit report.
Republican Assemblywoman Catherine Baker was there. She's the vice chair of the Assembly's Education Committee. KQED senior politics editor Scott Schaefer talked to her about the UC audit and her legislative priorities.
What troubles you the most about the audit, the findings, and how she responded to it?
Sure. Well, the audit had many troubling findings. The first was the undisclosed off-budget fund that was not disclosed to the regents, either the spending or even its existence, and that fund was being amassed or built up within the Office of the President. At the same time, they were asking for tuition increases from students, taking campus assessments away, dollars that could have been spent on our California students. So that was very troubling. The good news is they've agreed to take all the budget recommendations of the audit report, so that's good. But very troubling was the tampering that appears to have happened between the Office of the President and the communications that were supposed to go to the auditor confidentially to give us unfiltered, unadulterated information. They interfered with the investigation that the auditor had, and that, to me, is troubling, and the response that the President had. I don't believe she was fully forthright. I know she wasn't in the hearing, and that has gravely concerned me.
You and some of your Republican colleagues are asking to subpoena some records, budget records, invoices, those kinds of things. What are you looking for? Do you feel like there may have been some law broken, perhaps, or what?
Really, for me, I want to get to the facts. That's the first part. The office has had a problem with candor, both in terms of the financial documents. There's still a lot of unanswered questions that the auditor was unable to get information about. We need to get that out there. But secondly is this issue of how the University Office of the President interfered with the communications. They actually took some of the input that was supposed to go to the auditor, crossed it out and edited it to make it sound better, and then gave it forward. And that was directed at the highest level from President Napolitano, something that she did not agree with at the hearing. And that, to me, is troubling. I do believe the best way to deal with it is fact-finding subpoenas. Get the full information in a disciplined way so we have the facts.
Could you see this leading to her resignation?
I will leave that up to the regents and the president, but I tell you, this is the most troubling audit I've seen The auditor said in her testimony on Wednesday, in her 17 years, she has never seen that type of interference in this type of audit report, and that should cause everyone to take a look and see what's the appropriate action.
Quickly, so we can move on, though, do you support rolling back that tuition increase that the regents approved earlier this year?
Absolutely. The day that this audit report came out, I had a 1-hour briefing with the auditor to go through it first to make sure I understood the findings, and then called for a freeze in the tuition increase and the salary increases, the benefit increases, and the administrative costs. We owe it to California students to do that.
Let's talk about transportation. SB 1 passed. The governor signed it, a $52 billion revenue generator over 10 years for roads and public transit. You voted against it.
I did.
A lot of commuters in your district rely on the roads. What was your fundamental opposition to it?
Fundamentally, if we're going to even think about taking more tax dollars and revenue from Californians, we have got to show we're making the reforms necessary to spend it better, and we have to do that first. And the bill had virtually zero reforms to modernize Caltrans to be more efficient with those dollars. And of the 107 pages, there was 1 page that mentioned Caltrans, and it was 6 lines that set a goal for better operations, and that was it. They've never been able to meet that goal. We could have done more.
But that's the bill that was before the legislature. Are you saying that doing nothing would have been better than passing what passed?
I think doing the right thing, which is do the reforms with any kind of conversations about revenue, but zero conversations about reform happened. Zero parts in the bill. And unfortunately, Californians, I think, deserve better. If we're asking them for more money, the highest gas tax increase in California history, a gas tax that continues year after year after year, and we do nothing to spend it better, that's the wrong way to go.
California, of course, has become sort of the center of resistance to the Trump agenda. And I'm wondering, as a Republican, how do you feel about what the legislature is doing and specifically the sanctuary state bill, SB 54, which passed the Senate? It's now in your house.
Yeah, it's coming on. It's all the way over in the Senate. I probably won't get an opportunity to vote on it until it's on the Assembly floor. And look, I can tell you, it's an issue that is keenly important to constituents in my district and I think Californians. For me, I happen to support a very welcoming immigration policy, including for refugees. We have to keep everyone safe. And whoever's here and how they got here, we have to keep them safe. The main thing I'll look at with that bill is, does it allow law enforcement to keep people safe? If not, it's not a good bill.
Really quickly, we're short on time. There's no endangered species list for politicians or Republicans, but you'd be on it if there was.
I like to think of it as a seed that grows.
Why do you think Republicans have had such a hard time with their message, certainly in the Bay Area in particular, but in the state? And again, I apologize, but we're short on time.
I think the California Republican Party has had challenges for the last 2 decades. I think we're listening more to Californians than I think you're seeing a lot of the majority agenda in Sacramento, what people need to improve their quality of life. And if we keep on that path, I think we're going to continue to do better and better.
All right, Assemblywoman Catherine Baker, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up tonight on PBS NewsHour, an unexpected development at a graduation ceremony and the not-so-warm welcome for U.S. Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos.
While we will undoubtedly disagree at times, I hope we can do so respectfully. Let's choose to hear one another out. I want to reaffirm this administration's commitment to and support for HBCUs and the students they serve.
And why one journalist was arrested for repeatedly asking White House officials about the GOP's health care replacement bill. That's tonight on PBS NewsHour, starting at 7, right here on KPBS. This job is not for the faint of heart. It's all in a day's work for an elite police unit that specializes in high-rise rescues. Associated Press reporter Ted Sheffrey takes us behind the scenes of training day on the Brooklyn Bridge.
Climbing 276 feet to the top of the Brooklyn Bridge is not a job for someone afraid of heights.
Really no options to make somebody more comfortable. You're either able to climb it or you're not.
John Flynn is an instructor with the New York Police Department's Emergency Service Unit.
How's the view? Great.
This elite unit handles the city's most dangerous rescues, whether atop a building or underwater. Today they are training on New York's most iconic bridge.
You're going to feel some movement. It's natural with the cables.
And the AP got exclusive access.
When we get up to the top couple sections, you're going to feel the bridge actually floating a little bit, all natural. Gets a little bit steeper, obviously, with this last section. So regardless where the potential jumper or protester is, either on the cables or on the top of the bridge or anywhere else within the structure, it's equally challenging based on the fact that there's risks to us and them anywhere we operate on the bridge.
The city has several bridges, and officers from this unit respond to them daily. Last summer, the unit responded when a man using large suction cups climbed part of the way up Trump Tower.
I stuck my head out, I greeted him once more, and I said, "Sir, could you please hook yourself in for your safety?" Again, he was very adamant about, "No, I'm not. I'm going up to see Mr. Trump."
When he refused to take the safety line, Detective Christopher Williams made his move.
They got his arm. They're dragging him in. Yeah! Yeah! Woo!
When he got close enough, I advised him, "Sir, you're going to come with me." And at that point, that's when I grabbed him by his arm and did an arm drag and pulled him inside the window with the help of my partner.
That's another part of the job. Often the protesters and jumpers do not want to be rescued.
All the techniques we use for managing emotionally disturbed persons, active listening, trying to make that connection, it's even more critical up here in addition to all the safety systems we have.
To be part of this elite unit, police officers must have 5 years of patrol experience, undergo months of extra training,
and be always ready to climb the city's highest skyscrapers and bridges, like here today on the Brooklyn Bridge.
A tough job.
You got a chance to appreciate what it's like to actually work up here.
But it comes with the best views of the city. Ted Shaffrey, Associated Press, New York.
On your mark, get set, jump. Pride was on the line for Sacramento lawmakers at today's Capitol Frog Jump. Competitors like Mad Hopper and Mr. Froggers were put to the test. Frog, the bounty hunter, took home the prize for longest jump at 12 feet and 1 inch. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.